All right, you guys, happy Monday and welcome back into another One Piece video. Chapter 1157's brief spoilers have just dropped, and if you have not checked them out for yourself yet, I will be linking it down in the pinned comment, as well as typing it out piece by piece in case you do not want my commentary and you just want to check out the bullet points then and there. But here today, we're here to have a discussion about this chapter and just have some fun talking about it. So, first things first, we finally, thank the heavens, get an update to the Yamato cover page story. The cover page story is a little bit of a meme, right? At first, nobody wanted to touch this cover page story with a 10-foot pole, and now everybody's clamoring over who the hero is that Yamato is visiting. Well, Oda has decided to prolong that mystery by not giving us the name of this character, but instead giving us their death. Apparently, whoever Yamato is visiting died while fighting Kaido. That right there doesn't tell us a whole bunch, to be honest, but it does at least give us a definite timeline, because Kaido arrived in Wano 20-ish years ago, so we do know that this is somewhat recent. So going back to all the main options that people were talking about, I do think this puts Ushimaru further up in the tier list of candidates, because Ushimaru, he's a Shimotsuki, he is a hero, he lived in Ringo, which is the area this grave is located at, and yeah, I think he just fits really well. The only thing about Ushimaru that does not really work with this grave is that apparently this hero was born in the West Blue and then later raised in Ringo. So, since Ushimaru is a Shimotsuki, I just feel like he would be born and raised in Wano. But maybe we're wrong there. The other candidates would be Shiki, Jigoro, people were talking about Kyowo coming off of last week. And those are candidates, but they're also kind of wishy-washy, right? So yeah, we kind of got something from the cover page, we kind of got nothing, and with that being the case, I would love to see and hear what you guys have to say about this. Has this update changed your opinion on who this grave actually belongs to? So now, getting into the chapter, the first thing the leakers drop is the fact that the Rocks pirates do not exactly get along. Which is something we already knew about, right? When Sengoku was talking about God Valley, he was like, yeah, by the way, they got a lot of hotheads in their crew, and they just did not really use teamwork at all. So we kind of expected this, but the leakers say verbatim that the Rocks pirates are always trying to betray one another. And it's like, damn, what do you mean always try to betray one another? Like, are they trying to steal each other's food? Are they stealing treasure? Or are they actually trying to stab each other in the back? Which I do think could make sense with certain characters like Shiki and Kyowo, right? Kyowo joining the Rocks pirates was a little bit odd last week. It's like, okay, wait, Shiki is his rival, yet he's joining the crew, right? So Shiki better watch his back, and Kyowo better watch his back. Like, I would not trust them in an actual battle. So yeah, of course, like I said, this is probably how they lost at God Valley. And what's pretty cool about this whole scene here is that the narrator goes on and they talk about the crimes that the Rocks pirates have committed up until this point. And it's like, yeah, like, I would love to hear that, right? I mean, hell, when we had Zebek's feats and his crimes, it was like, hey, he stole Celestial Dragon treasure, he destroyed a Gate of Justice, he killed an admiral, yada yada. So I'm expecting that same amount of hype, but for Rocks' crew too. So we go on now, and we see that Rocks is still trying to recruit Harald into his crew, which is pretty funny. What, this is 3 weeks in a row where Rocks has come by saying, hey, Harald, join my crew, buddy. Like, come on, you know you want to set out to sea with us, right? Which, it really just goes to show that Rocks really respects and values Harald. Like, hey, I'm not a bad guy, but I do kind of somewhat agree with what Kaido said last chapter. Like, hey, Rocks, you know we could just beat Harald and have him join. You know we could just take the devil fruit, right? But Rocks, of course, he really likes Harald, so that is off the table. Even though Harald has seemingly been rejecting Rocks for about 5+ years now, Rocks still treasures him, which is kind of crazy. So we go on now to probably the most important part about the chapter. But get this, guys, we finally know why God Valley happened in the first place. So back during the Kuma flashback, we heard from Garp and from their conversation that the celestial dragons and marines, they took the treasure of hachinosu. We were speculating. We were all speculating as to what they actually took. Was it a log pose? Was it a devil fruit? Was it a baby? We got the answer in this chapter. Because apparently, the treasure of hachinosu is none other than SHAKKY. That's right, guys. It's funny. Last week's chapter, it was good. Don't get me wrong. It was great. But the beginning portion of it kind of felt like filler. It's like, okay, like Roger going crazy about the Kuja pirates. That's cool. But did we need this? Like, did we really have to see this? Turns out we did, because it's all set up for God Valley. So yes, SHAKKY decides to go over to Pirate Island. She sets up her legendary bar over there, and all the guys immediately are infatuated with her, right? She just has that effect on men. Rox is gooning out, Whitebeard, Shiki, pretty much all the Rox pirates are just gooning out to SHAKKY here. And what's crazy to think about is that SHAKKY, despite having all these high-level fighters around her, she somehow gets kidnapped. Like, I am trying to wrap my head around that. Like, maybe SHAKKY, like, leaves the island, or maybe Rox isn't home, and that's when the Celestial Dragons come in and swoop her up. But man, that's just nuts, right? Like Ginny, for example. Ginny being kidnapped during the Kuma flashback, I get that. Right, Ginny was surrounded by low-level fodder. You know, no other commander was nearby her. She was on some ragtag island. Gotcha. Ginny gets kidnapped. A-okay with me, right? But SHAKKY being surrounded by Rox, Whitebeard, all the pirates on the island, you know, Roger potentially coming by and saying hello to SHAKKY as well. Like, how were they able to take this lady? And then even then, it's like, dude, you know how crazy it is to be the reason for an entire God Valley incident? SHAKKY did that. SHAKKY's treasure was so strong that it garnered the attention of pretty much every top-level fighter in the world. Nuts. Absolutely nuts, man. It seems like SHAKKY might have been one of the prizes that the Celestial Dragons would have gotten if they scored high enough in the rabbit hunting tournament. That's my assumption, right? Like, I see no other reason to bring SHAKKY to that island. Maybe somebody wanted to bring their favorite slave over, and that was the thing, like, bring your slave to God Valley Day. Like, maybe that's why she was there. But I do think she was just simply a prize that everybody was pining over. And I really love this, right? Because everybody crashed out over her, dude. Some people might just say, hey, we don't want to fight the WG. You know, hey, she's in enemy hands now. I don't want to cause a war over her. But here we have it. Roger shows up. We have Rox showing up. These guys, man, they will not let this lady fall into slavery at all. And I love it. I absolutely love that. Major respects to Roger now. You know, last chapter, I was like, you know, iffy. You know, last chapter, in my opinion, didn't really change my perspective on Roger in a positive or negative way. I was pretty in the middle of the road. I was just kind of joking about it for the most part. But now that we have this, now that we know that Roger crashed out over SHAKKY so hard that he actually went to God Valley, it's like, yeah, that's a W in my book. That is a major W. I do enjoy the crash out personality, man. And same with Rox. You know, they kidnapped SHAKKY, Rox win. He said, boys, hop on the ships. We're going to war right now. We're gonna save this girl. Dude. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to mention, or one question I kind of had coming off of these spoilers, but I wonder if Gloriosa at this point in time was a part of the Rox Pirates. Because the spoilers that dropped today have no mention of Gloriosa at all. It simply says that SHAKKY left the Kuja Pirates. So, did she leave because Gloriosa wasn't there anymore? Did she get bored? Did she really just want to set up a bar on Pirate Island for some reason? We don't really know. I could totally see Gloriosa already being a part of the Rox crew, and maybe that's why SHAKKY wanted to come by, so that maybe she could hang out near Gloriosa. That's my assumption, but of course, we'll get more information on that tomorrow or the next day. So now, on to the final bullet point of this week's chapter. We see that the Gorosei make an appearance this week, and they send Harald a message saying that they will allow Elbaf to join the world government. Get this, if King Harald kills Rox D. Syvduck. So funny enough, we know that Harald, actually we don't know, right? But I do not believe that Harald is the one who landed the final blow on Rox, right? Rox went all the way to God Valley, and to our knowledge, Harald was not there. So Harald doesn't end up killing Rox. But on another note, I could see Harald betraying Rox, right? As much as Harald likes Rox D. Syvduck, he knows that Rox is a villain, right? And Harald, in my opinion, would do anything he can for his country's success. So I could definitely see Harald selling Rox out. Like, maybe Harald is the reason why SHAKKY falls into the WG grasp. Maybe Harald is like, hey, I'm not gonna kill him, but if you guys capture the treasure of hachinosu, then it could set up a direct confrontation, which I don't think would be ideal if you're the WG. Like, you know, you're telling Harald to kill Rox D. Syvduck, and then Harald's like, hey, here's SHAKKY instead. That just feels a little bit odd. But I do think that Harald will betray Rox. I just do not know to what capacity he will, though, right? If Rox shows up again to Elbaf, would Harald actually do a 1v1 against him? I don't know. And then even then, I feel like that'd be a major, major battle, right? Because back at Marie Joie, they were clashing equally. So if they were to actually fight to the death, what would that look like? I do not know. But yeah, this is insane. Personally, though, I just don't think that Harald is gonna kill Rox. Betrayal, I definitely see. But killing, that's a tough one. And then Loki, right? This is Loki's flashback. I'd like to imagine if Loki were to hear about this, if Loki were to see his dad fighting his idol, he'd be like, Dad, stop, don't kill him. Don't kill Rox, please. Which, it's a feel-bad moment, I'm not gonna lie. You know, with how much Rox treasures Harald's friendship, it would really suck if Harald was the one who threw the first punch. This entire time, you know, Kaido's like, hey, Rox, just beat up Harald, bring him into the crew, and take the devil fruit. And Rox is like, nope, do not say that again. I will beat you down, Kaido, you greenhorn. So if Harald is the one who throws that punch, that would just feel like somebody threw a punch to my heart, brother. I don't know. But with that being said, though, guys, let me know what you think about this chapter down below. How do you feel about SHAKKY being the reason why all these heavy hitters go to God Valley? Do you think it was a smart decision? Do you agree with Rox and Roger going there for SHAKKY to save SHAKKY? Or no, do you think that they should have just let her be sold off into slavery? Let me know all those thoughts down below. Thank you guys so much for spending your time here. Really appreciate it. Tomorrow, I do not think the full spoilers are going to drop, but because of that, we will be going through the comment section and reading what you guys have to say in regards to these spoilers. So go ahead and drop a joke, go ahead and drop an opinion, a theory, yada yada, and there's a good chance we will be reading those tomorrow. But until then, guys, you all stay safe, and I will catch y'all later. Peace out, brother.